The best tip I can give you this time of year is to drive around until you see some balloons tied to a mailbox, and then walk into that house and help yourself to all the free open house graduation food that you can handle. After that, I've just got some really simple jam guitar tips that we're going to go over. So really what we have here, because I think that like a lot of times when you think about soloing or jamming with something, we tend to overcomplicate things. So I really want to simplify this into like its most basic principles. We're going to start off with 2 chords, G major and C major, maybe a C add 9 or something like that, right? Just like that. Probably the 2 most popular chords of all time, I would dare say. So we're gonna loop this, and then we're gonna talk about maybe just some easy things that you can play over this to make it sound pretty cool. So it's gonna sound like this. So, really easy, okay? This is 2 chords, 2 ways to see these chords in different spots of the neck to kind of do some kind of jam type thing. Now really this is going to be kind of just a small part of a class that I made with my buddy Ian. It's kind of like a master class. We really wanted to kind of go super in depth on this, and we keep it simple, and we have like a lot of different backing tracks that you can play along with if you don't have a looper pedal. Anyways, it's just kind of like a cool idea to maybe check that out because it's a long 3-day weekend. Could be a cool thing to do. So check that out in the links below if you want to support the cause. But basically what we have here, we have a G major chord. All right, I want to talk about just that G major chord for a second. Really, we've got 3rd fret on the low E string, 2nd fret on the A string, 3rd fret on the B string. That's all we have for the chord, okay? Now, the principle of really kind of jamming in general is just play something that's gonna mesh, vibe with that chord. So we only have 3 notes in that chord, a G, a B, and a D. There are a lot of different ways that we can find those notes in different spots on the neck. I think the first thing that we're gonna do is just see this different voicing up here, which is really just the open D, G, and B strings, but an octave higher. So the 12th fret on the D, G, and B strings right there. Okay, so we're gonna kind of make a mental note of this spot being connected to this chord. Now, another voicing that's kind of in the same area of this open G is a G bar chord. Right there. A lot of people know this one, right? Now, sometimes if you're starting out, specifically maybe on an acoustic guitar, it can be kind of hard to play to get good tone out of it. But it's more about the shape and seeing this shape in our mind's eye. Because what I see in a G major chord is this major 3rd, which is right where your middle finger would go if you were holding down that bar chord, okay? So this is actually giving us a B note, which is the same as like the open B string. But the cool thing about a fretted B note as compared to an open B note is you can slide into it, okay? And then I think specifically when you're kind of playing something lead style, sliding into a major 3rd, the 3rd of a chord, and then going right to its root note, which happens to be the 3rd fret on the high E string, because again, that's the same thing as the 3rd fret on the low E string, has a cool sound to kind of like in a lead world introduce you to that chord, right? Maybe just even in a different part of the neck, okay? So again, if you're just kind of playing that G chord, you can always slide and then start playing notes around that area, okay? So we're starting with that 3rd, sliding into the 3rd, going to the root note, and then maybe dancing around with a couple different notes in that same area. Right there, 3 to 5 to 3. And this is something you can do over any major chord, which we're gonna talk about in a second when we get to the C part. So that's gonna be our kind of, maybe you wanna look at that as like a lick that you could learn over any major chord where this is your root note. Here's a G. Same thing works for G sharp, A. It's a movable shape, and really these movable shapes are super helpful and kind of must-know things when you're talking about playing over chords, all right? So that first part of the thing that we were playing before, right there, I kind of did that first lick, and then slide down into the next chord voicing that we talked about first, okay? So even though those notes spanned the loop of having a G major chord and a C major chord, it still fit over both parts because it's in the same key, all right? So that's just kind of like the first half of the lick that we were playing around with. Again, sliding major 3rd, root, dance around in that little shape, into a higher chord voicing. All right? Now we do the same thing, but instead of doing it on a G, find out where the C is, which is right here. The 8th fret on the high E note, on the high E string, is a C, right? Okay, now I'm going to go to the same thing. If we think of a different higher C major chord voicing, this one right here is really helpful. A D major shape, but an octave higher, back 2 frets. Okay, because again, if we just have regular D major shape, which all of you probably already know, go a full octave higher, which is just 12 frets higher. So my ring finger's on the 3rd fret right now. The next highest D on this string is going to be the 15th fret. And then I can back, maybe not try to get the string to stay on the fretboard. Go back a fret, that's the C sharp major, back, that's C major. Okay, so now this is going to be the higher voicing that we can concentrate on after going. And then I'm ending on that same note that we did for the G chord, right? So it's really just simplifying it, seeing 2 chords that we're soloing over, and then doing one kind of lick around that chord spot into another voicing, and then kind of repeating almost the same thing into a different chord voicing, okay? Now in the intro, you notice that actually I kind of played around here for a little bit too, and then down here too. Really, pentatonics, the relative minor pentatonic of either of these chords is going to work. Again, I'm going to go more in depth in this in the masterclass if you want to check this out. I've also talked about this in a lot of different videos, but when in doubt, minor pentatonic. The G relative minor pentatonic is E minor, which is, and the C minor pentatonic is A minor relative. So the 5th fret right there. So any kind of minor pentatonic licks or riffs that you know, you can start adding on top of these chords, right? So if we have a G, C, it's minor. And then you can start adding them into the different chord voicings. If we're starting here with that G, you'll notice that I can really just go from here instead of going to that higher chord voicing. That also lines us up with the E minor pentatonic shape. So it's really just kind of making these connections and starting off really simply by just taking one chord, finding a couple different chord voicings here and here, and then really getting that down and being able to kind of flawlessly transition from one spot to another, and then adding the stuff you know about minor pentatonic on top of that. So hopefully that was just kind of like a quick tip on how to, just kind of demystify some of the fretboard. Again, perfect opportunity to go check out that masterclass. It's a few hours long, a lot of content there. And again, specifically if you don't have a looper and you can't practice the stuff yourself, there's a lot of backing tracks that we teach you how to use and go over it. So check that stuff out. Let me know what you think in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.